Robert, I obviously know you well, okay?
Definitely.
But a lot of people that we work with know Ray and I for a long time, don't know you that well.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about your background.
A little bit about my background. Before coming to SPN HMH, I worked for about 15 years in administration, ISDs in Texas, Dallas, Austin area, principal, assistant superintendent. And then after that, I came over to HMH and began working as a director of professional learning. That time, you and I had the opportunity to meet, right? After that, it just seemed, I went from a DPL, then I went from a national position with a director of professional learning position. Then I went from that to a senior director's role, where then I managed all the processes across the country, right? So that is a little bit more about my background. And then I had the opportunity to be called by a great man who was a mentor of mine to be a vice president of Successful Practices Network. That great man is the man I'm looking at right now, right? And to really begin the work in a more implementation. So I'm not only work on the thought leader side, which is the keynoting side, but I also work in the implementation side of our projects with the National Dropout Prevention Center, with SPN, and then I work with AES.
Now, where's your doctorate from?
I'm from the University of Texas in Austin.
Okay, good. Tell me about your family.
I've got 2 babies. I've got a 10-year-old. I've got an 8-year-old. Matthew is my 8-year-old. Katie is my 10-year-old. From Dallas, Texas. As a matter of fact, they're probably. I'm going to show them this video when it actually comes out, because I always talk about Dr. Daggett, and usually when I'm leaving, they say, "Hey, are you going to see Doc?" Right? But I think maybe last week was the first time that they had the opportunity to meet.
Right. Yeah, and we met them in a place that I spend a lot of time, and they would like to spend a lot of time.
Yes.
Buying ice cream and soda and candy.
Yes. You know, my mother-in-law says, that Dr. Daggett eats a lot of junk food.
Yeah. So, Robert, you handle and manage all of our consultants for
Definitely.
SPN. Tell us a little bit about our consultants.
Sure.
What areas do we have consultants in, and what do they do?
For the most part, I mean, I think our consultants, we have consultants in all areas of implementation. We have some of the best consultants, I'd say, across the country. Since our projects, as you know, are very customized, then we have consultants that actually really have a razor focus based on the needs of the district. For example, let's say if a district really wants central office support, we've got consultants that can work with your early learning directors, your support services directors, your chief academic officers. If you need consultants to work with your principals, we've got consultants that have been awesome and amazing principals, consultants for superintendents, and then we have consultants that can really work with those teachers in the PLCs with our rubrics, with our future focused success rubrics. So to answer your question, Doc, I mean, it really depends on the needs of the district, because we customize those services, and we have consultants at every level that can actually facilitate that work.
Yeah, the one thing both Ray and I have appreciated about your work, Robert, is the consulting team that you have built.
Sure.
They don't talk from a theoretical point of view.
Exactly.
They're
Definitely.
not university professors
No.
who are thinking about what schools should do.
Exactly.
They are people who have actually done it.
Yes, practitioners, right? I mean, I think that there's a theory and a practice, and when we are actually where the rubber meets the road is the how-to, and I think the great. I think the foundation or cornerstone of our work in the field is that we have some great consultants that can actually meet teachers, principals, superintendents where they are, build the plan, create the plan with them, and then actually process those clients through that plan. So, great work.
Yeah.
And hey, it's been great work all the way around, right?
Yeah, that's good. You know, Robert, Ray and I are known as keynoters.
Sure.
I've said recently to the leadership at AASA that in terms of our skill set, ability to connect to the audience, Ray and I have a national reputation, but you are actually our best keynoter, and I know you're going to try to do that. I know you're going to try to
Doc,
deny it.
I am overwhelmed when you put me even in the same stratosphere as you, right?
But you are our best. Thomas saw you last week. I mean, he is unbelievably great in front of an
Hey,
audience. Okay?
I have fun. I have fun.
So tell me about your approach
Right.
that is so endearing to the audience and engages them so, because that's what you do. You endear the audience. You suck them in. They're excited.
Right.
What's your approach?
Well, I think, first of all, I think that, I think the energy, I always start with some Mountain Dew, right? So you gotta have that really good energy with a crowd. Also, I always like to connect with them. So I always beforehand really talk with my crowd to really just see who you are, where are you from, what do you want to get, out of this conference. And then I'm a storyteller, so I love the different stories to really tell those stories and how they really connect with education. And then discuss with participants the how-to. I really believe in just my whole background has been just this practical how-to, the steps that you can take and process through for success, whether that's going from stabilizing all the way to future focus. And to be honest with you, Doc, I love to hear from great people. So there's always pieces of my session where I'm asking them questions because I want to hear from them, and then I want them to connect with one another. So I appreciate this, Doc. I mean, this is big time for Dr. Daggett to say I'm a great presenter. But Dr. Daggett, I'm not even close to you. I'm drinking milk one of these days, maybe in 25, 30 years. I'll be close to Dr. Daggett.
No, you're there already. You're there already.
Definitely.
So, anything else you want to share while we get the tape running, Robert?
I guess, one thing I can say is, at SPN, it's really a practical approach to working with school districts across the country to build solutions and processes within their districts that are successful, right? So I really love working with the team and working with AASA and districts across the country to sit down, see where a district is, see what they need, and then bring in experts from across the country to really work with them. So I am in hog heaven, Doc. I get to keynote, man. I get to work with this gentleman here, Dr. Daggett, who's my mentor. I get to go to different amazing districts across the country to hear amazing work in the field. Who wouldn't want to be a part of this process and this energy and AASA Learning 2025 and just the work that we're doing. So it has been more than a blessing for me to be in this position and then working with such great people. Definitely.
Great.